Hey, hey, hey. What is going on, you guys? It's been a few weeks since I have been on here, but I'm very happy to be back. And let me just say this, like the last few weeks of trading have just been phenomenal. They've been amazing from me working with clients, my personal trading. I just helped another trader pass her prop firm account. I just helped a gentleman make $1,000 in like 2 or 3 days off of a small account. And so I have to say that I'm just excited and blessed just to be just in this situation. And we're going into 2023 here soon. And I have to say that I want to help more people like you guys, more traders, become successful traders. Not only successful traders, but profitable traders. But the thing about being profitable is, I think when it comes to a trading strategy, you got to know what profitable is to you, what's making your trading strategy profitable, and what's making it not profitable. I'll give you guys a personal story really quick. I complicated my trading strategy for 2 years when I first got into trading, and it led to me having no consistent wins, no consistent profit. As a matter of fact, I was consistently not profitable. Okay, so let me just put it to you guys that way, consistently not profitable. I had no organized routine. I was trying to trade every time session, every time frame as a day trader. And I'll be honest, y'all, it just did not work out well. And I couldn't tell y'all what was wrong with my strategy. I couldn't even tell you what was good about it. And that was just literally the first year of my trading. I just knew that I just didn't have the results that I desired. I didn't have the results that I was looking for. And if you've been there or if you are there, I will tell you that there is hope around the corner, because it's like once you start thinking, man, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, that's when you start to really research what to do. And that is what had ended up happening to me. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I wish someone would have told me this. If you want to be profitable, learn less and trade more. Now, I know a lot of y'all might be thinking, well, I already trade a lot. You know, you might be thinking, hey Rodney, what's going on? You might be thinking, I'm already putting in trades and I don't know what's going on. But I guarantee that it has something to do with your routine or your organized flow. And it's something that I began to teach my students at the top of 2022. I said, yo, this year we're learning less and we're trading more, because it was just all about collecting data on what's not happening right, collecting data on why your profits are being taken, just collecting data on who you are as a trader. I just firmly believe that if you want to be a good trader, you got to put yourself in the trading shoes. And what this means is not to be the overcomplicated trader. So, you know, I know a lot of successful traders. And what I have learned from them is that they don't talk to a lot of people. They really do trade alone. And when I realized that, I was like, man, successful traders get to talk less because their system is working. And what I found is that unsuccessful traders talk all day about their trades because they're still trying to figure it out. Like if you've ever been in this trading group or a trading group and you've seen where traders talk like, what currency pair are you looking at? What's your strategy? What do you think about this pair? One day we gonna make it. One day we gonna make it, right? Like all they're doing is talking because they have no idea how to break away from the charts to let the system work. They've not built that confidence in themselves just yet. And I found that's what happens to a lot of traders. But I think when it comes to you, you got to ask yourself, what does being a profitable trader look like to you, right? When you're profitable, is it because is it because of the results you're seeing? Is it because you're seeing money every single day, every single week, every single month, right? Like when we think about 9 to 5, some of y'all see a check every single week, bi-weekly, maybe monthly. There was a time when I was working in Germany and I was only getting paid once a month, every 25th of the month, right? I could have said, hey, I'm a successful worker, successful 9 to 5 worker because I can see a paycheck. Does that equate the same to you as you're trading? Are you successful because you're able to withdraw every single month or every other month? Then you have to ask yourself, like, how often are you paying yourself from your trading business? Because if you're not the profitable trader, does that mean you're failing? And this is something I think when you talk about a trading strategy, it's like, okay, well, what is the result of the trading strategy? Like, what does that result look like to you? And what I have found is that there are a lot of problems that occur from traders before they become profitable. And it starts at the beginning of their trading career. And what it starts to look at is, in the beginning, and maybe this has happened to you, maybe it's not, but you look for the profitable strategy, but you don't look at what's making it profitable. Like, all you know is the result of this person has been making money and you want the same results. And then when you get into learning the strategy and trading the strategy, even though you know it's profitable, it may not make money for you, right? Another problem that occurs is that you could be looking at a successful trader, but you've not looked at what led to their success. But all you know is you want the result of their success, right? But you haven't looked at the trials and the tribulations, because their trials and tribulations could become your own. Another one that I see is that you seek a profitable result, but not what is recurring, causing the losses, right? But what I've learned from all of these things when you first get into trading is that it all comes down to mindset, thinking a certain way and taking a certain action. There's a book called The Science of Getting Rich. And in the book, he says you can have a person who was poor, who grew up poor, who lives in poverty, or you could have a person who grew up rich. And just because the person grew up rich doesn't mean they're going to stay rich. Just because the person who grew up poor doesn't mean that they're going to stay poor. But what happens if the poor starts to think a certain way and becomes rich, while the person who was rich thinks a certain way and then becomes poor, right? They say that the science behind getting rich is, if you take a certain action of the person who became rich, if you think a certain way and you put the action together, you can become rich too, with the understanding that there's no such thing as competition, but you have everything you need, which is supply, to make the biggest difference in your life if you tap into the supply and you take action with what's already created in front of you. That's the same thing that we're doing here. A profitable strategy starts with the system. And the system has already been built for you. You just got to take a certain action to make the system work for you. Okay. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hey, Peter, how are you doing, sweetie? So, everyone here on TradingView, everyone here on Instagram, I'm glad that you guys are with me. Because, this has been a long journey and a long road, even to get to where I am, and just finding satisfaction in trading, learning to be quiet. After years of building my system, it's the years of learning my system, but knowing that it's profitable because I'm singing for other people, not only myself, but for other people. And I think that's what's the most important part here. And so I want you guys to ask yourself, when it comes to a trading system, hey, Veronica, I want you guys to start to ask yourself this: how long will it take you to make money off of your ideal trading setup? Because I believe that people are making money too slow. What I mean is, they're staying in the stage of learning. To get rich or to get profits, let's just say profits, because everybody may not get rich, right? But you could make consistent profits and it could sustain your lifestyle and help you contribute to your household. But to make the money that you want to make, I think people stay in the learning stage for too long, and it stops the flow of their money from coming in, and then they get dissatisfied, right? Because if you're always looking at the next profitable strategy, the next successful person, you're not avoiding losses, you take yourself further away from the profitable trader title that you want to become. I honestly think still the most successful traders trade alone, and then they go get in the room with other successful traders. Then they reach back to create more successful traders, and they create a community of those traders. That's like the biggest flex in life for a lot of people. I know it is for me. My goal and job has always been to teach other people how to make profits and give it back. Like Each one teach one, right? A real life example for me is, you guys, I like to teach people my trading systems before they come into my community. And I have a few reasons why, but the biggest reasons why I want to teach people myself, not through a course, I want the person who comes into the community to trade as fast and as soon as they enter that community. Like, I want you already going. I want you already trading, because there's no need for you to learn and then get in the community and think you need to learn more to be successful. You're already going to learn more. But the next biggest thing is you get to keep up. I have heard and seen from traders where they get into groups and communities and feel left behind. And they don't want to raise their hands because they're like, hey, I'm shy because I see all these successful people or people who know what they're doing, and I'm afraid that I'm going to hold them back with my questions. And I invite questions. I think questions make you smart. When you don't ask the questions, you stay stuck, right? And so I want, when people get done with our trading sessions, like, they come in already knowing what to do and can stay up to date with everybody else. And lastly, I just think it's easier for traders to be in the trading stage and not the learning stage for too long. I think we got to get the learning stage out of the way, because and this is just to me. Everything after I teach is off of me. Like, once you get into that stage of being a trader, your success is now on your own, because I got to go back for me as a coach to focus on my trading too. And so, you kind of got to give respect as well between the relationship of a coach and a trader, right? Because each one teach one. Remember that. If you're learning from a course or a coach or whoever, in order for you to become profitable, you have to become independent. Because the more dependent you stay on other people, you expect them to feed you. That's why I don't do signals. That's why, like I said, I don't do courses. Like, I try to take me out of the equation as soon as I give you the blueprint, because I want the blueprint to be in your hand, right? And if you're creating a strategy or you're learning a strategy, like what we're about to talk about really quick, and I'm pretty I can do it in 45 minutes. This is literally going to be for you. Hey, William, how are you doing, sweetheart? But this is really going to be for you. So first thing first, to be your strategy is, you need to know why your strategy is good and why your strategy isn't good. Because I really believe that good works in stages. Like, nothing starts off just good, right? And I want you to think about it in terms of a stage. First stage is your strategy good enough to contribute to your household? Rocky said, proud of you. It's tough to come into business, be profitable, and be able to teach. I 100% agree with you. And I actually talk about those with my community. The problems that I have as a coach and a trader. I try to be as transparent as I can with my people and create boundaries. I don't have the best boundaries, but I'm learning to create them. And I think I'm on the right track right now. So yeah, so thank you. I appreciate that, Rocky. I wish more coaches will also come out and talk about that as well. It's like they try to shy away from it and be the best coach, but they can struggle behind the scenes and they stay in struggle. I don't stay in struggle with my community. I let them know my problems because I need them to support me. Like, they want me to support them with their problems. That's why communities are important, right? So I really do appreciate that. But yeah, so just the first question is your strategy good enough to contribute money to your household? Now, I think if you can answer yes and no, I think this helps set the tone of your strategy. How if your strategy can pay a small bill, let's just start there. I don't think you'll have as much um tension as trying to be a profitable trader trying to hit a big goal. Like, when I realized, oh shoot, I can pay for groceries, you know. Oh shoot, I can take us to the movies. I can take us out to eat, me and my whole family. I can pay someone else's bill if they need my help. Because it's such a small amount, the moment you realize, okay, my strategy is good enough to profit this, you start to work for that profit, right? Then the next stage is my strategy good enough to allow me to work full time from home? Now what's happened is, hey Conrad, now what's happened is your strategy now has been able to help allow you to trade full time or give you the ability to trade full time. I don't think just because you can trade full time from home, especially if you have a 9 to 5, you should trade full time from home. I honestly think there are stages to that. I probably end up doing another live on that because I do trade full time. I've helped people trade full time, and it's not what people think it is. You will get bored, okay? So that's there. um is it the next stage is to is it then profitable enough to quit your job, right? So you can go from paying bills, the ideal of going full time, and then actually being able to quit your job. Like that's the stages that profitability should go in. And there could be more stages to it, but that let that be like a tier. And I want you to ask yourself, because if you say no to all three of these, that means that you have a little bit more work to do, and we're going to dig into the mindset of a profitable trader. But if you say yes to one of these, how long are you going to stay at that stage? Because sometimes you can get comfortable at just making bill money. Sometimes you can get comfortable at, I could quit my job. Sometimes you could get comfortable with, I did quit my job. Now what? Because it's a next stage after that, right? But it takes time to develop. And what you want to first do to develop or build a profitable strategy is just build belief in your strategy. And what this means is, do I believe, because you are the system, do I believe I can be profitable? Do I believe that I have the organized steps in order to do so? Do I believe that my system is good enough to work? Because once you start to believe in that, you start to trade it. And you have to articulate what profitable means to you. For me, it means that I can make my own money to control my time and my energy so I can contribute to my own personal development and my household. I have children who depend on me. I have a husband who I help contribute to our household. I help our household run. And if I am not in the process of being able to do so, it causes problems for my husband and it causes problems for my children, right? If I am not in control of my personal development, I suffer as a woman. I suffer as a human being because I will one day get older. I'm getting older, but one day I may have to sustain my own lifestyle. Can I do that? So that's what, for me, being profitable as a trader, that's what it does for me. And I want you guys to answer, what does being profitable mean to you? Is it you controlling your own time? Is it you being able to have more energy for your family? Is it financial energy? Is it spiritual energy? Like, what type of energy would money bring to you? Because what I'm teaching you how to do is see the good about your trading strategy. What is the result besides money that you're going to be getting? Van Tharp, if y'all have never heard of this, I really urge you guys to look him up. Van, V-A-N, and then Tharp, T-H-A-R-P-E. Van Tharp. He has a theory on when you believe your trading is good. When you believe your trading is good, when you can see the good, he says that you're more than likely to enter a trade, right? But to be able to do that, you have to be able to see the outcome. If you see the outcome as being good and good to your health and your finances, you'll enter it. But you got to also know what hinders your strategy, because those are things that you're going to want to avoid. Because Van Tharp also believes that if you see the trade as being bad before you enter it, you're not going to enter the trade. You're going to see everything that is wrong with it. You're going to see the fear in the trade. You're going to see the money that you're losing in the trade. And more than likely, you're not going to enter it. And here's the thing, though, to that belief. I am partial to this belief because I believe that most traders trade without knowing if their trade is good or bad. That's why I'm kind of partial to those beliefs. A lot of people get in not knowing if it's good or bad because they don't know the system of, or the result that their system produces. So they're just putting in trades with hopes that it's good. And so sometimes you can get a false result from that. So I'm kind of partial to that belief, right? That's just my left brain thinking for myself. Now, that's the first step, you guys, into uh building out your strategy. Is you need to know why your strategy is good or isn't good for profit. Okay, develop a belief in your system, Articulate what profit means to you and know what is good about your strategy. Okay. We're going to dig deeper into the hinder part as well. Now, I also think that the next thing you should do when you're building your strategy is you should find motivation to trade it. Okay. I think when most traders get into trading, they're excited about trading, but there's no true motivation. I think they get into it with a false tense of I've seen it work for someone else, but I'm hoping it can work for me. And then when they get into trading, sometimes it's not what it seems. And then weeks can go by, and then months can go by, and then years can go by with no results. Right? So I'm here to tell you now, if you want to find motivation in your strategy, make the strategy easy to trade. Because I want to know from you guys here. I have a few of you here on YouTube and a few of you here on TradingView who's watching me right now. What is easy about your strategy? I want you to type it below. What do you know about your strategy that is easy for you to understand? Because if you start writing those things down, what's happening is it's easier for you to trade when you know what you're doing. And if you can literally write it down, you start the process of building a trading plan. Okay. Kazito said, nice to be here as a newbie learning to trade from Uganda. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you for being here. But that's what I want you guys to, really start to think about. Write your strategy down. And when we get into step 3, I'll show you guys why I'm saying that here. Okay. But not only are you writing it down, I want you to also keep the rules because you're writing down rules. When you write down what's easy to trade about your system, it should be an organized flow. And when you're writing out your organized flow, what you want to do is you want to keep every entry and exit rule the same. Here's why you're doing this. You're going to keep the whole process the same, but you are believing in the outcome before you see it actually happen. I'll give you guys a really great example, okay? I was just in an Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar trade. I was in a Euro JPY trade. I was in one trade on Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar to the upside, two trades to the upside on Euro JPY. Now, before and right now with AUD New Zealand, what it's doing in real time, she's pulled back. Now, before she pulled back, I told myself and I told my students, we know where we're going to take profit. We're in this position. We know why. But please move your trade to break even because we correlate currency pairs, right? So I'm looking at New Zealand dollar and I'm looking at AUD New Zealand. And in my mind, if New Zealand dollar pushes up, this pair is going to push down and take me out of my trade. So I'm going to protect it. But all the rules are still the same. Entries and exits. Then I have Euro JPY over here who's running greatly in profit. But the rules are the same. The entry is the same. The exit is the same. So just because one trade doesn't work out while the other works out, the system that we trade never changes. The mindset of the trade and the outcome that we're looking for never changes until price moves. You just have to be able to manage the position. That is the outcome. How is it managed? Okay. So that's what we're talking about here. All right. That's what we're talking about here. Now, at the same time, we're trading the good in the system. That's why I'm asking you, write down what's making the trade easy for you to see. Because when you trade the good, you have faith that the trade will go your way. Now, a lot of people may think, well, the trade only goes my way if I'm profitable. But what happens if you lose? Because you could be a gracious loser. I didn't lose any money in AUD New Zealand, even though it took me out the trade. The reason why, I don't know the reason why it took me out the trade because I'm not fundamental, but I do know that it took me out for break even because I managed the position. I saw the outcome of what happens with my rules. I now have a rule that says if price moves in your favor by this much percentage, protect the capital. Okay? This is a part of what makes your strategy easy to trade. Even if it doesn't go your way, you have to protect your capital. I don't always want every loss to result in a loss, if that makes sense. I don't have to lose money just because I lose a trade. This is why we have risk-free trades. That has to be somewhere in a profitable strategy. Profitable means I keep more than what I risk. I keep more than what I lose. Because also that Euro JPY trade with the same analysis and the same entry and the same exit rules, both of those trades are protected now. You have to get in a position to protect your money. And we'll get into that in just a second as well. Now, this just didn't happen by circumstance. This didn't just happen because someone told me to do these things. These things happen for me and my students because we do what's called back testing. We back test what we don't understand and what we understand to work out kinks in the system, right? When you're back testing, you have faith that you'll steadily evolve to become a better trader and not trade by luck. I think when you trade by luck, you trade because you don't know the outcome. The outcome could be good and bad, and you'll never know the difference, right? I think a lot of traders get into trading luckily. They don't know the difference between a loser that is lost by them and a losing trade that's lost by a system. There's no distinction between the two. But when we back test and we back test our rules and you back test the same system over and over and over and over again, what you're telling yourself is, I'm practicing and shooting my shots in the gym. Because when a certain thing happens, I need to be able to protect my capital, keep the money I make, and grow my amount, right? That's why back testing is very important. I tell people, hey, back test your weaknesses, trade your strengths. I will always trade my strategy the same way, no matter the market, no matter the currency pair. Those things won't change. There are only different variables that changes. For example, a currency pair's name can change. A time frame can change. Price movement can change. Rules don't change. They don't change. Okay? Because when you think like this, I think you have to have a belief that no matter the outcome of the trade, you're never as good as the next trade. You have to have a belief that there's always a trade, another trade around the corner. There is always another trade. When you think like this, you'll never have to force a trade. Because if you force a trade, you operate out of fear. You operate out of FOMO and you operate out of a lack of trust. William asks, why did you choose to trade Forex over stocks? Actually, I invest in stocks. I would rather trade Forex and invest in stocks. One of the biggest reasons is because when it comes to Forex, there's a lower risk factor, right? Um, and I just think it depends on how you get into the stock market. You can get into it options wise, which to me is more expensive and it's more learning and more terminology, or you can get into an investing wise, which is more money. And you have to wait for the market to move in your favor. But see, with trading, I control my time and how long I want to stay in my trade, right? But yeah, lower risk, lower buy-in, less to learn. That's why I chose Forex. But that doesn't mean I ignore stocks, William. And I think whatever market that you trade, it's a personal belief in why you trade what you trade. I have friends who trade bonds. They don't trade Forex. They don't trade stocks. I have friends who trade crypto. They don't trade Forex. They don't trade stocks. They don't trade bonds. They trade what is best suited for them. Like William, you're going to have to trade what's best suited for you. But it just depends on your learning factor. That's all. Okay. What do you think about trading crypto? You can trade crypto. I have a student right now who he just trades crypto. His name is Crypto Kurt. That's what he does. He's my crypto fanatic, right? It's not right, it's not wrong, it's him. You trade what's personal to you. That's all. Okay. So let's go into the third stage of building your strategy, a profitable strategy. This part, I need y'all to hear me well on this part. When it comes to building a profitable strategy, you guys have to remember that you're building a trading plan as well. And I think your trading plan should require yes and no answers because what you're doing is you're trading smarter and not harder. All right. I'm going to repeat that. You're going to build a trading plan that requires yes and no answers because you want to trade smarter and not harder. All right. I want y'all to remember this. You are the only one who will know if your strategy sucks. You're the only one. All right. That's it. You'll be probably thinking trading isn't working for you. Man, it's not working for me. It's not for me. You know how? Because you're going to think your trading sucks. You might even think, why am I not making the money that I want? You might even think, I need a new course or a new group. But when you put everything together, if you start thinking those things, somewhere along the line is you. There's something in you. Something is going on with your system. Okay? And I guarantee you this. If you speak your strategy out loud, you will hear what's good and bad about it. Just try it. Try my words and see if they're true. When you literally speak out loud, you will hear yourself. In school, I mean, this is so crazy. Our English teachers taught us this. When we first learned how to read, and I don't know if this is y'all, but I know me. When I first learned how to read, we were always taught to read out loud. Remember how you be in school and your teacher called on you? You got to read this passage. Sometimes you didn't want to read the passage, but you needed to read it. Sometimes you were embarrassed because you either read really well or you didn't read really well. You heard the other students who could articulate the words you could not articulate, and you heard the students who just didn't sound that good when they were reading, right? But why did you think that was important? Number one, the teacher was figuring out who was the best readers in the room. All right. So that's one. The teachers were also figuring out uh who was the best student that was going to be in the room. Because remember, you used to have the best student. Like, I don't know if y'all ever had that. Like, they give mention to the best student, whatever. I only won it once. It hurt my heart, but it's okay, right? But you're also proving to yourself if you can actually speak the words that you see out loud. It's the same way as a trading strategy, okay? But if you speak it out loud, here's what you're doing. You're understanding if what you know is repeatable. If you can say, yes, Shaquan, that's my name. Okay. Yes, Shaquan, I can teach this to somebody because it sounds good. I know the time frames. I know the words. I know the terminology. I can break it down. It's not complicated. I can teach it to a 5-year-old. You got something good on your hands. It can be a profitable strategy. But when you start speaking them out loud and writing them down, and if it sucks, you're going to hear it. If it's complicated, you're going to hear it. If you wouldn't trade it after you speak it, you're going to know to change it. You're going to know that. Only you will know that if you speak it by yourself. But imagine speaking your trading strategy to a room of traders. Do you think they'll trade it after you? And that is the question there. That is the question. Now, when it comes to your trading strategy, and I think this is really important too, I think you have to give yourself a reason to not trade or disqualify your trade ideas quickly. For example, I have a rule, or I used to have a rule when I was a day trader, that I did not trade non-farm payrolls every first Friday of the month. I didn't want to get caught up in that. I do have a rule now that I don't trade on Sundays. I also have a rule that says I don't trade when there is no reason to. I often get asked this, Shaquan, if price is at your estimate, if it isn't at your estimation zone, do you enter a trade? No, I don't. I don't trade almost rules. Oh, well, it's almost at your zone. I'm not going to trade it. I don't have a reason to be in the trade, so I'm not going to trade it, right? You got to give you got to give yourself reasons to not be in the trade, because remember that you lose money when you don't protect it. A rule that disqualifies a setup protects you. It protects your mind. It protects you from saying, dang, I knew I should have stayed out that trade. Because how many of y'all have ever said that? You got into a trade, you're thinking about it, and you're like, man, I knew that wasn't going to go my way. But you traded it anyway. Because I've been there before. You just know. You just know. But having those rules literally keeps money in your pocket. That's how I was able to get out of Australia and down to New Zealand for no loss. Because I have a rule that says this is how you protect your money. That's how you do it. Then I think another thing that helps, build your trading strategy Honestly, you guys, is you have to define your ideal trade step by step. It's like, I don't know if you guys are married or in a relationship, but when you define your ideal guy or your ideal girl, right? You probably said, I want them to be this tall. I'm a woman, so it must be from my perspective. I want him to be this tall. I want him to look like this. I ain't really say the money part. I want him to be nice, loyal, hold me, be romantic. Like, you're literally defining this person. You may get it, you may not. I don't know. Okay, as human beings, we know that we don't always get what's on our list, right? But you're defining it. It literally is the same way for your ideal trade. Price has to be increasing or decreasing. I need more than a one-to-one risk reward. I have to make more than $500 in a trade. I have to lose no more than $250 in this trade. Price has to come back to here before I enter the trade. Like, when your ideal trade setup comes, you know you gotta jump on it. Because what happens if you don't jump on your ideal trade? You miss the perfect trade that could have set you apart. And I have found that this happens a lot to traders. It happens to me sometimes, a lot of times actually. Happens to a lot of people in my trading community where we see the perfect setup, but for some reason, we don't enter that trade. And then we got the horror story of that could have been a trade that made me this amount of money if only I would have entered, right? It was the ideal setup. It was what you planned for. It was what you saving your money for, right? And I see that happen a lot. So many times, you guys. I see it happen a lot. And that's what I'm saying. Like, once you see it, go for it. But then here's the thing that I've learned. A lot of people who don't see their ideal trade, what happens is they then focus on the bad trades. And in relationships, we call that toxicity, right? You get into a toxic relationship with trading, with the bad trades, because you have fear of missing out, which is our FOMO, and you have fear that there will not be another trade around the corner. Veronica said, if I'm honest, as a beginner, I did not know what the perfect setup was. Now I know, I understand why traders wait. That part, Veronica. Patience pays, right? Think about your ideal person. A lot of times people wait years to meet the ideal love of their life, and they go through bad people, or people, not bad people, but people who just were not made for them. We see it happen all the time. Trading is no different. Sometimes you got to go through those setups that you're like, ugh. Then you start tracking that data, and you're like, oh, I see why this ain't gonna work out for me. I see why this is not good for me. And then you start going to, but this is good for me. But this looks good for me. This time frame looks good. This currency pair looks good. And when I realize, when I wait on these things to happen, I get the result I'm looking for, right? I call them pretty areas. It's like pretty boys or pretty girls. I like trading pretty areas. I teach people how to trade pretty. I don't want nothing ugly. I don't want no consolidation. I don't want to trade none of that. Because the moment I get stuck into something that's not good for me, guess what happens? My mind blown. I can't think. I sleep more. I go into depression. I got anxiety. You know, I'm telling y'all, trading messes with you like a relationship. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, Mr. Anthony, toxic relationship. Trading is a relationship. All right. And now going into the next part of how to build a trading strategy, a profitable one, it's like money too. You spend money in relationships. You got to give yourself a reason to win big and lose small, because we win in big in relationships too. You got to look at it like, yes, I'll take a chance on a $200 trade to make 1,000. I'll take a chance on a $1,000 trade that I'm going to chance that much to make 5,000. I'll take a chance on losing a small amount I'm comfortable with, to make a big amount that I'm comfortable with if I can do it consistently, right? Like, there used to be a time when I was okay with a $10 movie, right? Like, oh, it's gonna be a really good movie. All right, I'm gonna get some popcorn. But then prices started to go up. right? And if you ain't have that much money to begin a relationship, you start questioning that $12 movie ticket and that $9 popcorn, right? You question that just a little bit. But see, when you start making the money that you want, that $12 ticket don't seem that big. That $9 popcorn seems reasonable, right? And that's because you put yourself in a different income bracket. And for traders, when y'all start making the money that you want to make or you come close to it, you start to realize that title I'm searching for is within grasp. And then when you make it, it's not just one time. Like, what happens when you make the amount you want twice, and then three times, and then four times, and then five times? You get a little bit confident, right? You get more confident than you've ever been because you're stepping into a different circle. You're stepping into a different realm. When I started to step into that realm, I was like, hold up. I ain't been here before. I don't know this. Wait a minute. And you start seeing different types of opportunities, right? I don't think we talk about this enough. What that feeling feels like, right? I remember the first time I was able to withdraw from my account and it was a good amount. I bought a kitchen table and then I just started buying furniture. I was never able to just flat out buy furniture. And when I look around where I live, I'm like, dang, this ain't no errands furniture. This isn't no renter center. I own everything in my home, right? It's a different realm. It's a different bracket. That's why, like when you look at the IRS, they penalize you when you go into a higher tax bracket. We hate it, but that means you made money. You should kind of be celebrating. You should be happy. Kind of, I hate paying taxes, but but it is a stepping stone from the poorhouse. Because when you think a certain way and you take a certain action, you get what you've been trading for, right? And that's why too, your chances in life, they don't come often. But when you see the profitable chance, the ideal trade setup, you literally got to go for it. And this is why building yes and no trading answers in a trading plan helps you make sense of every trade, every currency pair, every time frame, and everything you do as a trader. You're building a relationship. Like Veronica just said, actually, this is perfect what she said. As a beginner, when she was a beginner, she didn't know what the perfect setup was. You're not supposed to know that. Not as a beginner, not if you don't have a foundation and you don't have anyone to teach you that. Like I wasn't taught what having a boyfriend is, so I went through horrible. They weren't that bad, but I went through relationships that I wasn't supposed to be in because no one taught me how to curve certain men in my life, how to curve certain guys in my life, right? And so when I get into trading, no one really taught me how not to trade a particular pair or not to trade certain things together or stay away from these time frames if I believe in this particular thing. No one sat me down and did that. And so now that I have a blueprint that works, I'm like, okay, listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do A, B, C, forget D, E, F, G. Like we're going through the whole alphabet. I'm going to show you the most important letters, the first three letters, A, B, C. One, two, three. Because the first three are probably the most important. Because by the time you get to Z, you're overwhelmed. You know what people trip up on in the alphabet? What is after J? LMNOP. I remember when I was growing up, I was in daycare, and my daycare teacher used to have us say the alphabet. And if we would say LMNOP, not LMNOP, if we did not articulate that or pronounce it or enunciate those letters, we had to start over because that was a confusion area, right? And I had to learn that in trading. I just need to teach A, B, C. As a trader, you just need to trade A, B, C, or one, two, three. If you go beyond that, it's complicated. No one keeps up after three. No one keeps up after C. Why? Like the famous Michael Jackson song ABC. It's easy as one, two, three. I'm telling y'all, like what we trade in real life, what we know in real life is how we trade because it's elementary. It is elementary. All right. So we got to think about that. So you got to collect this data on yourself. Let me give you this last framework. This is where the money part comes in at. All right. As a matter of fact, In my community this Wednesday, tomorrow, we're going to have a plan your profit session. I want them to plan their profits with me. How much do they want to make the next 3 months? We're going to start with October. We're going to actually write out, literally journal out what the numbers are. When you plan your profits, how much you want to make, you got to make backwards. I think people trade forward. They just trade how much they want to make, but the losses don't matter. They don't think about that. I do. I think about, if I lose a trade, how much does that set me back from my goal? And then how much do I need to make to break back even and then get back to where I was before I lost that amount? And that's what we talk about. So I'm gonna give you guys what it looks like here. Just a quick glimpse. Because I do profit sessions with people. And I really do think prop firms are helping people set up for this if they truly understand the prop firm game. So one, write down how much you would like to profit this month in October. What is that amount? But I ask that you be realistic. If you got $100 in your account and you say 2,000, that's unrealistic. Okay, I'm letting y'all know that right now. But if you say Shaquan, that's my name. If you don't know, Shaquan. At the end of this month, I want to make $2,000. Okay, cool. We can work with those numbers. $2,000. Now let's look at how much you have in your trading account. We'll look at those numbers. Now, I just helped the gentleman. He just started over this account because I work with him outside of my coaching community. I'm helping him with his own strategy. And he was able to turn a $119 account into over $1,000. Now, if you were on my email list, you actually saw the messages between he and I today, and that was from this morning. Okay, this is not the first withdrawal he has made or the first profits he's made under my helping in the last 2 months. He's actually made more money than that, right? But he's a little bit more of a risk taker. So, we're going to be honing that in soon because now that he has a little bit of a cushion, we got to actually work with his number so he don't blow his account. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But when you say how much you want to make, you got to look at your capital. How much do you have in your trading account? Because that's what's going to help dictate these numbers. Now you got to create a drawdown rule. If you want to make $2,000, how much don't you want to lose? That has to be a percentage of your account. For example, if you have I'm going to say prop firm account because that's what most people are going towards, and that's what I'm pushing people towards. If you have let's say, a $25,000 trading account from a prop firm, and you don't want to lose any more than 5%, well, that's what is 5% of $25,000? Let's see. So we're going to use a calculator on that. So $25,000 times 5%, that's $1,250. That means that whatever you make, how much you make needs to be more than 5%. With most prop firms, they say your drawdown, your daily drawdown can't be, let's say 5%. That means in one day you cannot lose $1,250. But you need to make 10%. If you have a $25,000 account and you make 10%, that's $2,500. I'm telling y'all, I really think prop firms got it right with their percentages. I think sometimes they're too high with how much they want you to make consecutively. But if you think about it, they are preparing you guys to look at your numbers a lot more in depth. Okay. Now, let's say that your risk amount per trade is 1%, $250 per trade of the $25,000 account. Okay. That means that per trade, you won't lose you can't lose any more than 250, but you'll make more than 250. So that's the numbers that they're helping you generate, but you're generating that percentage yourself. But how many trades would it take for you to lose the 1,250? It'll take you 5 trades because 250 times 5% or times 5, that's 5 setups, is $1,250. But how many trades do you need to make the 2,500? I'm just going to say 2,500 because I started with that. 2,500. You need 10 trades because $250 times 10 equals 2,500, right? So we start with those numbers. We start with how much we want to make, and then we work ourselves backwards to figure out how many trades would it take for us to not hit our mark, how many trades would it take for us to hit our mark? But also we look at the risk to reward, because the bigger your risk to rewards are, the less trades you need to reach your mark. If on average you take a trade that's a 1 to 2, you cut how many trades you need down. So instead of 10 trades, you need 5. Because a 1 to 2 risk to reward trade with $250, that means you're risking 250 to make 500. 500 times 5 is $2,500. You reach your mark in less trades. Okay. Last part of this, when you plan to profit, you don't control the risk to reward. You only trade a favorable risk to reward. A lot of my trades on average are between 1 to 7 and 1 to 2. How do I know that? Because I collect data on my trades. I'm okay with a 1 to 1 trade as long as it's more than a 1 to 1 trade. I don't have a rule that says 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, because I'm trying to put myself in control. I'm not God. I only trade the rules to my system, right? But if I trade the rules to my system, here's what I can do. I can learn how to take more than one trade at the same time. And now it decreases how many currency pairs I trade and how many times I enter a trade on one pair. As I told you guys, I was in one trade on AUD New Zealand, 2 trades on Euro JPY, because the risk rewards were more favorable on Euro JPY than AUD New Zealand. When you get to that point in your trading career where you have specific rules, you guys, it affects your profitability. Because if y'all see the video that I put out yesterday, there is a difference between risk to reward and profitability. Risk to reward is about the cents or the money, the pip count. Profitability is numerical. It's about the amount you can make and the amount you can lose, and you're giving it a deeper meaning to yourself. I like to focus on profitability after I understand my risk to reward. And if the risk reward is not in my favor, the probability won't be in my favor. It's going to mess with me mentally. It's going to mess with you mentally. Okay. So I'm done, y'all. I'm done. I really pray that after you guys listen, this is more mindset thing here, right? After you guys listen to this, you understand that there is a deeper meaning on building your profitable trading strategy. It's not always wrapped around enter here, exit here, do these simple steps. Like there's thousands of strategies to trade. How do you tell a person to stick to one thing? In the beginning, they're going to have to go through these different types of relationships to find what really matters. When people finally get to me, it's because they're tired of looking. They've been hurt, they've been bamboozled, and they're not now they're like, wait a minute, like the same way I'm talking to y'all is how I teach. And like, wait a minute, you're teaching a system. Yeah, it's organized. You're not selling a course. No, I'm teaching you. Oh, you're going to walk it through with me. Yeah, you need to see it. Oh, you're going to back test with me. Yes, that's what I'm here for. I'm talking about back testing. Oh, you're going to plan my profits with me. Yeah, I'm going to plan your profits with me. Oh, you're going to look at my charts with me. Of course, that's what I do. I'm a coach. Oh, if I don't do good, you're going to teach me how to get out of drawdown. Of course. If I lose a trade, you're going to teach me how to make my money back. Yes, because I'm on the journey with you to helping you be a profitable trader. It takes some traders fast times and they can do it really fast. Some don't, but that's okay because we take the time limit out of trading. Okay. So I'm done, y'all. Any questions? I do a quick Q&A really quick with y'all. And I want you to know something. Like I do these live sessions when I can because I actually care about your trading journey. And I wish there was a me when I first got into trading. I really do. I wish there was someone who told me, Shaquan, if you stick to the terminology that you know, trading won't be hard for you. If you don't overcomplicate the system and if you use real life analogies, trading becomes easy to you. I wish someone told me, Shaquan, if you don't follow the crowd and what everybody else does, you'll be successful quicker. I wish someone told me that. But no one told me. I had a mentor, but I don't think he was at that point to where he knew that. I don't know where he is now in his trading career. But I wish it was simplified to me that way, because a lot of things that I'm telling you guys, I've taught myself, I've had to train myself, and I had to close my ears off to a lot of what other people were saying so that I could make myself the expert, right? It's two. It is two. I gotta get what? It's almost two. I gotta get ready to go soon, you guys. So last call for questions, y'all, because I'm a person who, if you don't have a question, I just think this resonated with you. I really do. Um, and if you guys need help, if y'all have questions in the future, y'all can send them below below this video. Or if you want to work with me, you guys, the links below on how to work with me are down below. I do have two changes that are coming soon. Two changes are, I'm gonna cut off ties to my community soon, where the only way you get in is if you work with me one-on-one. I've been seeing so much success from these one-on-ones, you guys. It's been crazy. And I like when people are able to keep up in my community because they have less questions when they work with me personally. I'm the one walking them hand in hand. Excuse me. It's like a coach on the football field. You need that coach on the field, because without the coach, y'all just playing the game and you don't know, you can't bring out the best in you without someone observing you. So that's gonna be that there. Okay. But other than that, I want you to have a good trading week. Non-farm payrolls is this week, so y'all be careful trading. You're welcome, T. Hey, T. What is going on, sweetheart? I was thinking about you the other freaking day. You just came across my mind. I pray all is well. I really do. Mr. Anthony, are you at work right now? Mr. Anthony always sending me something, y'all. He don't never take a break. He always sending me something. I have a running joke about Mr. Anthony. He always working. All right, you guys. So I think we good. I don't see any questions. I do see a few of y'all from YouTube have subscribed to the Trading View, or either you were here on Trading View and you watching me and you subscribed. So I really do appreciate the follow. Okay, but I'm gonna get up of here. I got stuff to do. I got to prepare for tomorrow in another session in just a few minutes. Okay, so I love you guys. I'll be back on here later on this week or next week. But y'all, please be safe trading this week. Non-farm payrolls. And I will talk to you guys in a few. Everybody, y'all be blessed. Goodbye.